everyone's talking about it, and I think I'll talk about it as well. And that is the rise of Gen Z. That is certainly top of mind for me. And we see this as a continuing development for the co-brand industry. If you think about the numbers alone, right, Gen Z represents the largest generation in the world, 2 billion people, 40% of all shoppers worldwide. And, what's key for this generation is, it's convenience, it's ease, it's personalization, it's experience. I actually just read on payments.com that Gen Z consumers now top millennials on social media shopping. Approximately 68% of Gen Z consumers searched for products on social media, and 1 in 3 of those consumers made a purchase. I mean, that's really powerful. And a great example of this in the co-brand world is a partner of ours, Grupo Ramos. So they're a retailer in Latin America, and they just relaunched their co-brand program. They're offering 3 distinct value propositions, right? So now consumers can choose from value propositions that reward spend on digital or style or home categories, depending on what's most relevant for their lifestyle.
Within the travel sector, we're seeing higher volumes than ever, and this has prompted 2 big developments that we've seen. So first, we're seeing brands reevaluate their programs to manage cost. So providers are pulling back on mass programs, they're setting the bar higher for loyalty tiers, and they're rewarding spend over frequency, which is not always popular with consumers. So now, of course, the program economics have to work, right? If you think about the economics of running these programs, it's quite expensive, but brands need to keep mutuality in mind when it comes to managing loyalty. The second big development that we've seen is the result of all of the CX investments that have been made over the past several years really coming to life in meaningful ways. There's an emphasis on personalization. We're seeing embedded app experiences and cross-channel interactions really coming to life. So the consumer expectations on their digital interactions now are much higher, and providing these really exceptional customer experiences is more important now than ever.
We think is a little bit of a, lack of a better term, a mega trend that consumers' trust in big companies is eroding, right? And that's because of inflation, which of course is not the fault of the large companies, but then it's also these attempts to be creative, shrinking the package sizes, corporate, lack of a better term, greed. So I think there's an increasing distrust from consumers towards big companies. And I think that's actually an opportunity for the loyal industry to try and regain the trust that I at least believe is eroding and will likely continue to erode somewhat, right?
So from my perspective, what we are seeing as we talk, to our customers across industries is, one, with the cookies gone, there is growing need for zero-party and first-party data. And we are seeing a lot of brands really looking to leverage loyalty programs as an important conduit to acquire zero-party and first-party data. The second one is there is a lot of emphasis on program ROI. This is, post-pandemic, we're seeing that their CFOs within the organizations are putting a lot more emphasis on the ROI that the programs are generating and the promotions that brands are launching. What is the ROI of those promotions? And this is primarily also driven by the need to have more active membership in the program. There are a lot of studies that show that the program membership is declining for programs that are really not able to deliver the value. So that is another one that I'm seeing in our conversations with our customers.
At Amadeus, what we're seeing is that consumers really want to get quicker to a meaningful reward. So we're seeing that the brands are proposing different loyalty options to help them in that space. So one key thing we saw was the expanded partnerships, especially those going into the everyday spending. And we're seeing return of a joint and coalition kind of loyalty models. Some of your members, such as Air France KLM and Accor, for example. And the everyday partnerships, we're seeing Air Canada with Starbucks, Flying Blue with Amazon. And we see at Amadeus our role as an IT providers to help really facilitate the securely onboarding and connecting with those partners. We've seen some other things around sustainability, so green miles, offsets, and quite a lot of experimentation with different forms of engaging customers, gamification to unlock rewards, mid-tier bonuses to keep the customers going and aiming for that next tier, such as an upgrade voucher halfway through. We're also seeing that because repeat purchases are often driven by personalization, we're seeing that coming in quite a bit stronger. It can be simplification. It can be data-driven. For example, personally, I love British Airways' stats of all my loyalty experience with them in the past. And it can be recognizing customers. And really one of the key things we've seen in 23, and really it impacts us in the travel industry, is that the typical loyalty customer profile has been changing. Corporate hasn't recovered as fast as leisure or visiting friends and family post-pandemic. So a lot, over half of the global spend, is now coming from occasional leisure travelers, and they only interact maybe once or twice a year with each travel player. So it's creating some complexity to build brand loyalty and preference for airlines. So we're seeing that there's some strategies coming in there, instant rewards, cashbacks, and we're starting to see subscription-based models starting to get a lot more space coming stronger. So it's already been there for a while in the low-cost space. For example, EasyJet with EasyJet Plus, with the bundles of services that you get included, but also for a regular fee. But we're starting to see it come in stronger as well with the full-service carriers. So, for example, TAP has a yearly subscription, and we're seeing subscription models as well on customers such as Emirates. Maybe last but not least, we're seeing AI and machine learning coming in a bit stronger to be able to drive real-time customer personalization, hyper-segmentation, leveraging customer insight for various different purposes. So identifying opportunities, making more targeted promotions and advertising, using it to detect which products or experiences or prices should be put out there. So these are the kind of trends and things that we've seen at Amadeus in 2023.
What were the things that influenced us within 2023, and what do we expect in the coming years? And I think obviously within the industry in which I work, travel, obviously we're coming off the greatest disruption in the history of travel, and that is the pandemic. And what we've seen throughout 2022 and into 2023 is a great resurgence of demand from consumers, from customers, from travelers within the sector. And as a result, many of our partners and virtually everyone in the travel industry used that opportunity to kind of rethink how they would design and how they would deliver customer experiences. And what we've seen is a convergence of travel and technology, and in my case, insurance. And what we've tried to do is we've tried to build products and services that meet needs of travelers. Needs of travelers have changed more than ever before. There's more volatility, there's more uncertainty, there's more concern about booking a trip and whether or not there's going to be societal unrest or some sort of geopolitical problem or some sort of environmental issue to deal with. And on top of that, we have inflation. So a lot of those factors have come together within our space to help us rethink how we deliver our products and services to make sure that we're taking care of our customers. And that goes for all of our business units, all of our regions around the world.
In terms of the key milestones and most significant developments in loyalty industries in 2023, I believe we witnessed a much greater and deeper adoption of loyalty programs throughout the year. As the reliance on zero-party and first-party data grows in the absence of cookies, the loyalty programs are becoming increasingly mission-critical, not only in the usual industries like travel, hospitality, and retail, but we are pretty much seeing loyalty programs being a mainstream go-to-market, customer initiative across industries. And, it is being seen as the foundation to drive individualized customer experiences, and its importance in driving the effectiveness of the brand's digital marketing strategies has grown exponentially. So I think that has been one of the major milestone or significant development, I would say, that we witnessed in 2023. The second one, if I may, is the role of technology. I think the technology is playing enormous role in driving the whole loyalty transformation. Notably, the use of AI and generative AI is slowly but surely changing the way loyalty programs operators use technology to drive personalized experiences, high quality content, and program operation at the speed of business. I think technology-wise, that has been one of the most significant development. We've been speaking about AI for last few years. However, 2023 is the year where we actually saw a widespread adoption of AI and AI use cases coming to life. Generative AI has, opened up opportunities to, loyalty is a dynamic and creative space, and generative AI has enormous potential in elevating the effectiveness of loyalty programs to the whole new level. So those, I would say, were the most significant developments in the year 2023.
We have seen digital transformation happening pretty much for the past 10, 15 years. Everybody was talking about digital, but it wasn't actually really taking off or accelerating. We have seen that occurring a lot during the pandemic, especially because people wanted contactless, they wanted to use their mobile app and so forth for doing everything. And now, basically, the pandemic has been accelerating this digital transformation by a lot. I mean, they're saying they're the best the pandemic was the best digital transformation officer for any organization. What we have seen before the pandemic, technology has always been front and central. Through a Skift report, we commissioned to the Skift organization to interview more than 1,000 travel professionals. We have seen that technology was mostly focused in customer communication, advertising, marketing, those kind of things. So sharing the value of the brand, the value of the product that they were selling. But after the pandemic, we have seen an increase of answers around customer service. So how to take care of business, how to take care of the customer, how to assist them, not only when they are selling the product, but also when they are actually servicing the customer. So when you are traveling, when you're flying, when you're getting disrupted, when you're reaching destination and so forth. And we see this trend continuing for a variety of reasons. The first thing is that the industry, we are ramping up capacity, and there is pent-up demand. So load factor are very high. Ryanair is posting 95%, industry-wide is 85%. So if there is, you don't see that many new airports popping up. You have all the air traffic control restrictions that are there. So if there is a misconnection or a cancellation, how do you accommodate the passengers? How do you make sure that they reach their destination? So there is an acceleration of that. And clearly, the adoption of technology for those specific use cases are really important. ML/AI specifically, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and now in the past 12 months, we have been talking about generative AI, Gen AI, how that can be used to ramp up the customer care, how to assist better the employee to support the customer. And we will see an acceleration of that in the months to come.
We saw some major changes and announcement of changes of some significant programs out there. Most of you will have heard about what Delta had announced or what Lufthansa have announced. Is just taking two examples where we see that different strategies are being applied to tackle the rebound in traffic that we saw, but I think more importantly, the change of the member structure, the change of the activity patterns that we all observed during and after the pandemic. These changes will come into effect in the next year. We saw immediate reactions, we saw adjustments of that, and I think we'll see more of that happening as a result in the next year. But the changes that we saw are, I think, giving direction for many others. On the technology side, what we saw in 2023 is a continued drive to cloud-based solutions, where more and more programs out there, especially those that sit on old legacy systems, look for modernization. And look for systems that give them the flexibility that they need to make these program changes faster and quicker. And I think that will continue also in the next year. I think the biggest technological development in 2023 was AI and the proliferation of AI, the easy access to AI. I do not believe we can conclude after 2023 in which direction this will go, but we saw adoptions of the first POCs, first tries, and I think that is something that we all will have to look into and see the power and see the strength of this new technology.